Oh, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a good evening.
I even gave her a drum roll. Nah, 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 nah.
We're trying to keep the granddaughter quiet till Tatum gets here in a few minutes. I put the link if anybody wants to join us.
Sure, come on up, Pappy. Come on up, Jeff and Heather. Hi, Shift Kicker.
Put Shift Kicker, hello. Jeff and Heather, Pappy. So, what are we talking about?
I'm kind of on a high note right now because I went down to City Hall and I was still all fired up and pissed off.
Oh, that's right. How'd that go?
And I told them I was pissed off, and I told them that the letter was inappropriate and disgrace. Uh, the tone of the letter was not good. That I was pissed off because of the tone of the letter. The letter didn't explain to me what the hell it was for. And what it was for is because my husband built a garage on the house, they added $9,000 to our property.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so it cost me $56 or whatever. So next year, it's a one-time fee. Well, it would have been nice to know that.
Hey,
Like for
that's
them
pretty
to
good.
explain to me what the hell this letter was for.
Yeah. But
So
here,
she
that
uh,
would be annually.
she took the copy of the letter and she wrote on it that the customer found the tone rude and um,
Disrespectful?
yeah, and she wrote a couple of things
Something like
down there that I had said, so I felt better when I left. I was like, "Doo, doo, 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 doo." But when I walked into City Hall, the security guard
that.
looks at me and goes, "Hello, Raymond's mom."
Oh, wow.
This man is way older than my son. He's like in his 40s or 50s, and my son's in his 20s. How
Wow.
does he know me and how does he know my son when I don't know the name?
Yeah.
Unless
Kind
he's
of
got a
weird.
kid the same age as my son and they played together when they were little.
That could be.
Yeah. And I'm just drawing a blank with the last name.
Yeah. There's
Damn
a
it, I
bunch
forgot
of
to call my son
kids
again today. Son of a bitch. Oh well.
that were on teams with my kids that I wouldn't remember their last names.
Oh yeah. They were in soccer, they were in football, they were in basketball, they were in volleyball. It was like, yeah, okay, I have no idea. Well, some of them I did, but some of them I didn't.
Yep. Jeff and Heather.
Hey, lady.
Hello, my girls and boy. How are you today?
Hello, hello, hello. Good, good, good.
How's your mom?
Oh,
I saw your little nipples
um,
in the chat. Then you said you'd be
do
quiet
what?
till tonight. So I was excited to hear how your mom's doing.
Yeah. She's I think they're gonna let her come home tomorrow, but she'll probably go to my cousin's house. She can't be alone. They're putting a, oh, what does she call that line?
Pick line?
In her arm again. A what?
Pick line.
Yes, that's it. Putting the pick line in her arm again for the antibiotics. And So she'll be doing that herself.
Hi, little one.
I thought you were going to be watching TV, sweetheart.
Do I need to go turn the TV off?
No,
Trick you.
they were
Okay, go watch TV.
Trick you.
Anyway, we're gonna don't touch any buttons. You just want to play too, don't you? um,
Oh my grandma.
they don't want her to be alone. They talked about her going into a nursing home. They're trying to schedule something for January because she still has stones in both sides, and dialysis was mentioned, but because of the PICC lines they keep putting in, her veins are getting bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't sound like a very good report to me, and her caseworker is supposed to call me tomorrow. And honey, that's loud. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna mute and
Shout it out.
You're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine,
everybody-
honey. You don't have to do.
You know that those little girl voices, they just bring a warmth to your heart when they're that little, and they
That is
almost
true.
have the tinkle of a bell to them. Unless
We
of
love
course, you're
to
the one
hear her.
babysitting.
Hi, Robert.
Go. Right with her.
Oh, where is Aunt Tatum?
So what did you
Why
get
aren't you
figured
asleep?
out? You said something about according to your schedule.
Oh, yeah, you're
Right
doing that on purpose. Yeah, that's the noise she's making, like a horse.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, bye. Go watch TV.
Yay.
Nope. Gigi and I were talking, and she's going according to her husband's work schedule. And so I told her, well, weekends are really hard for me because having the baby and her not being in school. Weekdays are easier because she goes to bed early to get to school. And so we're kind of like swapping back and forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that she goes by her husband's schedule, because she had written out this whole long thing, and I was like, okay, I didn't understand a word of that. What are you saying? And then she explained it to me, and I was like, okay, this is my schedule. Now, what are we going to do? And then, so this is what we came up with. She said she's fine with doing, I can't remember if she said Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday. She's good on the weekends anyway.
Right on.
And I guess Canada doesn't do Thanksgiving, Brenda.
Hmm?
They already had their things.
We already had. Sorry, we have ours in October.
Oh, okay.
So we're not doing Thanksgiving now because you guys are.
That's right. I remember y'all talking about the goose and the.
Yeah.
Got it. Anna Marie, Robert.
Hello,
Can't
Anna
remember if I
Marie.
said
Hello, Robert.
Trying to keep little Miss quiet. Must have found something to play with. She ran off. So yeah, that's That's what we're doing. And well, then knowing my mom can't be alone, I am so confused as to what to do. There's nothing for me to stay in out there. Oh,
Well,
wait, Tatum's back. Okay. I can smoke a cigarette.
Robert.
And Jeff Goodman. It's the little things in life, huh?
Yes.
And Pappy.
Oh, and it's the big things.
What
What?
big?
Chelsea, you staying out there? Okay, fine. Got rid of the dog too. Today, I guess was mail day. Tatum finally decided to go check the mail, and thank you so much, Pappy. Got my feathers.
Awesome.
Yes, they're beautiful. And a book. It's just sweet. So mail got mail today too.
Oh,
Woohoo! That's always nice.
Yes. That's loud. So how was y'all's day?
family off day.
Pretty good.
Hey,
Nothing.
Bobby.
I've done nothing.
Still a good.
We missed you on Gigi's last night. Just saying.
Yeah. Everybody.
Hey, Pappy.
Hi, Pappy.
You're muted if you're talking.
This is why the dogs are having fun again.
That's okay. We got dogs and we got babies. It's all is
Yeah.
good.
Kids all across the nation.
All kinds of background noise.
Yeah, Bonnie, I wanted to let you know that those feathers are off my Circle of Life staff that I've had for many, many, many years. So it's time for them to travel for a good cause.
Oh, I feel bad about that. That's
You should feel honored about that.
Yeah, feel
I
honored.
do. I feel honored, but I hate for it to take away from something that important.
Well, no, it isn't the feathers themselves that are important. It's just what it signifies. And I do apologize for the discoloration on them, but like I said, those things are quite old.
No, that just makes them even better.
I
I don't
probably
mind.
maybe back into the 90s, maybe something like that.
Wow.
But just go ahead and follow the instructions that I gave you on the little slip of paper in there. So
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
here's where I'm tempting you, because one of the
Yes.
things that you have to do with one of those feathers is do what with it?
Toss it.
No, you got to give it away, don't you? You got to put it
Yes.
out someplace and let that stuff lift up. So that's a sacrifice. That's the giveaway.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to shut my dogs off.
You didn't have to do that, Pappy.
No, he didn't.
Well,
Who's-
Bill likes to be a star all on his own.
Oh, I don't want to show you a side of me that I don't want to show. I have to keep my mask on.
Yep.
Yeah, you wouldn't want us to get the idea that you're a sucker for your dogs.
It's probably just like children. Once in a while, they need a little firmer word.
Yes.
They're trying their darndest to get me trained.
And people always think they train dogs. No, the dog trains you.
Yeah. I'm thinking this child is too. Her mama messaged me and she said, "How's she doing?" And I said, "Oh, great. Your bedroom's torn apart and her bedroom. And wait till you see the living room." And she said, "Mom, you're the boss." And I said, "Yeah, we need to teach that to her."
Yeah,
Because she
yeah,
will.
It's like not today.
She is so opposite from her mother. Her mother would mind so well and she was just an easy child to raise. This one, she'll put her hand on her hips and she'll start rocking that head back and forth and telling me what for. And I'm like, oh no, we're not going to do this.
Wow.
Yeah. And just love her. That's all.
All you
That's
can
right.
do is just love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hear that spoon again, Robert? Second bowl of syrup.
Robert's down there sharing coffee.
Yeah, we were. Oh, he's coffee. Yeah. Well, we had cereal. Hey.
And coffee.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
I didn't watch much today. Katie had a live. She was cutting up watermelon. So I popped in there for a second and told her hello and
Oh, wow.
invited her over this evening. She's
I
just so sweet.
I missed her. It showed that she was still live, and I clicked on it, and it was over.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh crap!
And then
That's Katie.
OW had Frank from
Yeah.
the border on.
Yeah, I was listening to that and looking at craft things.
Yeah. Yeah. All these things that we've been learning and listening to has got me wanting to make all these things. And I'm like, hey, I need to get some stuff. Most of my stuff is beachy. Everything that I was making was for the beach. Barefoot sandals. Those were crocheted, and I put little seashells and fish and mermaids. That's what a lot of my jewelry consists of. My mom has a whole cart full. And I think I'm going to have to talk to her about that.
Or do a giveaway.
Yep. You want to get this cart out of your house?
I went to the Dollar Tree today only to get some little fringy things that I saw when I was there the other day, which I didn't pick up then, which I should have. But I needed it for one of my crafts
Cool.
for the group. And I needed little white pom-poms and little red pom-poms.
Yep.
Yeah. 75 fucking dollars later, I left the store. Oh, I need this.
I know
oh,
that
need
feeling.
that. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah.
'Cause we're a crafting family, so when we get into a crafting store, it's not a good thing. It's all three of us.
I know.
This is cool. That's cool. That's cool. That'll go with that and that and that and that.
Well, the last 2 times I went, my daughter came with me because she told me I couldn't buy anything except for what I was going to the
And
store
she
for. But you know, when you're in the store, your mind goes all these places.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great ideas.
And I was watching, you know, those Christmas boxes with lights in them that you have outside your house. Well, some people have them outside
Yeah,
their house
yeah.
at Christmas time.
Yes.
Well, I saw someone making those the other day, and I thought, well, I really don't want it that small because they were doing it half the size what I wanted, right? So instead
Of course.
of just getting 2 cookie racks, which is what they were using, I had to get 4 to make the box. I have the lights. I didn't buy the lights, but I had to buy the cover. And then I had to buy the ribbon. You know, just I had to.
Well, you know,
No.
gotta make it look good.
You couldn't just go get a box?
Mm-mm.
That's what I use. I use just empty boxes and wrap them and stack them.
Well, these are lighted up,
Oh, okay.
so you got to be able to see the lights and you know da 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 da. And I was like, what the hell are they using on there? One lady used cheesecloth, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the one I saw yesterday used that holy shelf paper that you can buy at the dollar store.
Yeah.
They only had gray, so I'm like, okay, well, what color goes with gray for the ribbon? You know,
Anything
red
red,
goes with gray.
Yeah, that's right.
God.
blue, anything goes with gray.
Yep. But it's Christmas time, and I really didn't want to go get purple. My husband would have
Oh,
liked the purple because he likes purple.
Yeah.
But
I have
didn't
this.
I didn't see any big thick purple ribbon either, so oh well.
It's real hard for me to find red and gold that I like. And so almost everything is blue and silver.
Yep.
I don't know why. I just,
9 times out of 10, if I'm doing the Christmas tree, which I haven't done yet this year, which I'm late, it's got a shit ton of snowflakes on it. A shit ton of snowflakes. Snowmen. The Toronto Maple Leaf balls because we're Toronto Maple Leaf fans in this house. And a couple of my husband's from when he was a kid. His little drummer boy sits at the top of the tree, and you know that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta have
Yes.
the old.
But yeah, Mom, can you do something else with the tree? No, I like the snowflakes. I want to flock the tree this year.
there you
I've
go.
got the stuff. I bought the stuff last year. Do I remember where I put it? No.
In that special place that
It's probably in with the Christmas decorations, but who the hell knows? So I was at Michael's the other day and I bought snow.
Do y'all have Hobby Lobby too?
Mm-mm.
No. You
Mm-mm.
go into Hobby Lobby and they have these end caps set up. Oh, so pretty with all the matching and it's like torture. And I
Um,
just shut my eyes and keep walking to where I need to
we
go.
have Michael's, we have a Dollar Tree, and we have a Dollarama. Those are my three craft places.
Okay. I haven't heard of Dollarama.
It's like just a dollar store.
Is it like a
Mhm.
Dollar Tree itself?
Well, it's kind of like the
Or
Dollar
Dollar
Tree, but
General?
the Dollar Tree has better stuff, better crafting stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of like your Dollar General, I guess.
Mm.
From what I understand, I don't know.
You don't go there.
Robert. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Oh, sending out positive vibes to you.
Oh,
You're
definitely.
feeling better.
Sorry, I had to do the sound effects. I'm just in a weird mood today, so. Because I stood up to
That's
City
okay.
Hall. Yes!
Yeah, did
Right
the thing
on.
go well?
Yeah, it did. I
Good.
told the girl, I said, this letter was nasty. I'm offended and I'm pissed off. The letter didn't explain shit. And it was very condescending. And I don't fucking like it. She goes, okay, let's write a note to the lady that does the letters. I said, good, because I'm offended. And I don't like that. I think what you did was wrong.
I'm glad you got to go down there and do that today.
You know what? I
I
felt so
know.
much better after I left there.
That's
And then I
awesome.
went to the dollar store, so it was like, yay.
Trina, celebrate.
I'm proud of her for
Ice cream cone.
doing that. And their taxes are done different than ours. You know how ours are annually?
Uh-huh.
And if you add anything on, it ups you annually. Hers is a one-time thing. I'm like,
It was just
that's
for
pretty cool.
it was for him putting up the garage. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but whatever. So I guess my taxes are going to go up next year. I said it's
Oh.
replacing the garage that was there before.
Oh,
Yeah, as long-
you already had a garage.
I had
So
a
it's not
garage
a new
there
one.
before, but it was falling down, so we knocked it down and we built a new one.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
trying
it
to
didn't
sneak
take
in.
it didn't really take a whole lot of effort to knock that sucker down.
If you're already paying for the square footage and them trying to take it up, they'd have to prove that it was, well, here in the States, you would have to prove that it's just being taken up because it's straight across the board for every property owner. Now,
Well,
if you
it's
can,
like I had
you know
to
what I
pay
mean?
to get a building permit. There's
Well,
$500.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Then I had to pay the city for taxes for them to add to my property tax. But the letter didn't state that, so I had no idea what the hell I was paying the $56 for.
Yeah. Understanding.
But when she pulled up my name and my address, it came right up on her screen. I said,
Well,
"Well,
of
does
course.
this letter say that?" And she looks at the letter and she reads the letter and she goes, "No, it should have said that." I said, yeah. I said, if it was your mistake and you guys made up the monthly payment plan, then fine. But then it should have been, we made a mistake and this is what we need to do. Not this condescending little piece of shit I got. I love that, Pappy.
That's right.
All
Awesome.
my relations.
We're all in this together.
Yep. Hey, Gigi.
Hey, Gigi.
Ubu dash Kawinaha.
Wanna?
How do you pronounce that? You better come up here, Anna, and tell us.
What did she say? Ah,
Dragonfly.
I'm a duck. Come on.
I think English is easier. Yes, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not.
yes, and it probably does, and English probably loses a lot in translation for the true meaning of the words.
Yep.
Oboho Dashwana.
Obo Dashwana.
Wow.
Obo Oda Shka Wane.
I wasn't too far off.
Yeah, that I posted that avatar because I ran across a recent teaching by a Lakota medicine person. His name is David Swallow Jr. And I was watching it. I was watching it as you came on. And I ought to post a link because Heather,
I'm just
you're
watching
fascinated with that term, Mitakuya Oyasin. And that's exactly what he's teaching. It's a 10-minute video. I'll post a link in here if y'all would like to watch it. I would recommend it.
Yeah,
It's
I will.
beautiful.
I was watching him this morning. I came across him this morning.
Oh, did you?
Isn't that funny? Yes.
Well, save it because that's basically my teachings too. But I'll post it for everybody else in the comments.
It's so amazing when those little synchronicities happen to me. When I
You
see
guys are
Robert make
so
a comment,
insane.
I'm like, oh, I know what he just watched. I just watched that too.
You two are so in sync.
What an amazing time to be alive.
Yes, it is.
Well,
Uh-oh. Do we freeze up?
hello.
And I'm sorry I missed Raina on your thing today, but I did watch it after I got home.
Oh, it's fine. She enjoys coming out and saying hi to everyone now.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
like,
I
"Can I
enjoy
come out and
saying
say
hello to
hi?"
her too, so please tell her I said hello.
I will.
Even if she's going to bed, you can tell her tomorrow.
I will let her know.
Thank you. She's such
Anna's
a
going to be
cutie
coming
pie.
up here speaking to us in Anishinaabe pretty soon.
That'd be cool. I'm trying to learn too.
Whenever the status people come to the store and they get their status put in, I always read where they're from because we have certain tribes right here, but they come from all over. And if I'm trying to pronounce it because it's Indian and I can't pronounce worth a crap, but I always try. And I say, where is such and such a place? And they giggle and they tell me where it is, but they don't correct me. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they just tell me where it's from. Like it's from Sarnia, or it's from Manitoba, or it's from Alberta, or it's from BC. Oh, okay, great.
I always ask about the proper way to say stuff because I know I mess it up. But that's years worth of reading and then learning from reading.
Well, they get a kick out of me trying, like, as a crazy ass white woman, put it that way, trying to pronounce native names when I don't know how the letters go together and sound.
Right.
But I try.
Well, no wonder y'all weren't hearing me. I was just talking away.
Oh,
I
no,
was
Oh,
why?
sorry.
okay,
Well, you were.
no.
Did you close it?
Did you hear anything I said about the border stuff and what it made me think?
Not a
Nope.
word.
Not a word of
Not
it,
a
honey.
word.
Okay. When they were talking about the border, and yes, it's blood pressure raising, and but I was thinking while watching this, it is so neat that even people who are not who don't have any um, Native American blood, that here we are all trying to learn the ways because they were the original people here.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot to learn about it.
Yep.
And it I was really upset when I asked my grandmother um, for things from her mother, because two of my great grandmothers were Choctaw, and there's nothing. Her house burned down and everything was lost. So never heard any of the stories, never saw any of the anything, nothing.
Mm, that's sad. My
Well,
aunt,
but
my aunt was one of the ones that were taken from her family and put in the residential schools. And she did lose family members and friends at the residential schools. But she came home and made a good life and treated her children well. Some of the people came home and couldn't be with family and didn't treat their families well.
right,
Yeah. So there's both sides to the story.
yeah, and that's with everything. I
Yeah.
mean, even our veterans, it it's how they handled it.
Hmm.
And
My
people handled
husband's
different
my
situations different ways.
husband's ex-wife's father was an army guy,
Hmm.
and he rarely talked about his time in the army.
Yeah,
And most of the veterans that I knew growing up never talked about it ever. So we never got their stories,
yeah.
which
The
is
only
sad.
stories I got were from my great uncle. He was in World War II,
Hmm.
and but my stepfather was in Korean War and Vietnam,
Hmm.
and retired sergeant major. But I have no idea the battalion, the rank, well, I know the rank, but um, he doesn't talk about any of that. So that's the first question I'm going to ask him whenever I go out there, and I'm going to write it down so that I know that, because that was his life for 20 years.
And the people that came from Vietnam had it rough.
Yes.
And then when they
Yeah.
came home, they had it rougher. They were treated
Yeah.
with disrespect from the minute they got off the plane.
Yep.
And that was wrong.
I don't yes, it was wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't know that being an officer, if he was, I don't know. I don't, they may have gone straight to a base, and
Yeah.
I don't know how that was done, but
Mhm. I found it very sad when I heard of those stories. I couldn't I personally couldn't understand why people could treat people that way. But that was not in my nature to treat people like that, so I couldn't understand it. That
yeah,
was just my personal take on the whole thing.
yeah, I
But
don't understand.
it pissed me off.
Yes,
Okay? It pissed me off.
yep,
Well,
And if I found if I knew in town that there was a veteran that was, I didn't care what war he was from, I always treated them with respect, and I would go out of my way to see if I could do anything to help them.
yeah,
Hey, do you need your garden cleaned? Do you need your garden weeded? Do you need, da 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 da. Need your floors washed? Whatever, I'll do it.
That's really awesome.
that
do you
is good.
see what each of you have touched on? Life is full of experiences for various different people. Okay. And that affects the way that they go through their life because of the experiences. Now, you know as well as I do, when I say experience, I'm talking about a life lesson. A lesson.
Yes,
Everything is a lesson. And when somebody goes through life with a lesson that's affected them, you know, and you're scratching your head and you're saying, geez, I'm kind of wondering, why they're that way or whatever. It all depends on what side of the lesson you're looking at, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
yes,
A lesson has two sides. So if you got to recognize what that side of the lesson is that it's doing to you, and if you don't like that feeling, if you're not comfortable with that feeling, if you don't understand that there may be another side to that lesson, then you got to get up and move to a different position in the campfire so you can look at it again.
yes,
So every lesson has two sides, and the side you feed is going to be the one that's going to illuminate your life.
Well, most of the lessons that I learned growing up taught me to be a strong, caring individual. And I'm still a strong, caring individual.
And if you don't like it, you'll beat our ass. I know.
Yeah. Well, I won't say that. I won't do that now. 30 years ago, I would have.
You do it in different ways. I know. I can't kick as high as I used to either.
Yeah.
But I can still trip.
Yeah, I can still trip too.
I got a kick out of a friend of mine. Oh, just a few years back, we were practicing kicking up and see how high we could kick our foot up, because we used to be able to do it over our head, She didn't kick up in the air and go right down on her butt. I was like, I guess that teaches us we're trying to be young again.
Hi, Victor.
Hello, Victor.
Hi, Victor. Who do we got down there?
House stage today.
Hey, Vic.
Hi, Susie.
Oh, hi, Sue. Sorry, I didn't see you. House stage today, Anna.
Oh, sorry. She's sleeping like a little cutie pie right now. As soon as I'm done rubbing this hand lotion into my hands, I will show you how they're sleeping. It's so cute.
Yeah.
She was just a little stinker butt today. She was
Mhm.
playing hand monster with Aunt Judy. Aunt Judy put her hand under the blanket, and little Wormy was wagging her tail and attacking that hand.
Eh, well, at
Doing-
least she's getting back to normal, honey. At least she's getting back to normal.
Oh, she is. It's just, oh, and then I took Peach out to check the mail, which requires me getting in the car. So Peach got to go for a ride to the mailbox and back because our
Oh.
mailbox is like over a quarter mile and it was really windy and cold. So I just decided I'll take the car.
Mm-hmm.
We got back here. Wormy, or Sage Pooper, her nickname's Wormy, was so jealous she attacked Peach.
That.
She was mad. She didn't get to go for the car ride.
Yep.
Hi, Victor.
Well, Sage, you have to stay in the house for now. Only go outside if you gotta do a job. Aww. That. Yep.
I was gonna say, what in the world was that?
She
That was a pig in a chair and a dog in a blanket. I'm
I'll be
sorry,
right back.
Dorinda.
I'll be right back.
A pig impersonator there. That sounds better. That didn't sound like snoring to me. It sounded like a pig.
Another one of my totem animals.
Victor.
Really?
Meet Hammy.
Hammy. Oh. Pappy,
Yes.
you're gonna notice this is in and amongst the clouds. Check it out. My jammies have clouds on them.
Aw. You look comfy, cozy, awesome.
That
There's
is the necklace I got from Pappy.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I put that necklace together a lot of years ago. Now I
It
will
has
tell you that there's a message to that, because that's the way that I see you. I see you a strong woman with bear medicine. Okay, and I just thought that was appropriate. Now that little pin that goes in there that holds it to the necklace, that is subject to come out. So if it does come out, get your little hand drill out and drill a little hole in the top that you can run, a wire through and hang it from the necklace that way.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
the necklace is made up of, I made sure I put some turquoise beads in there for you.
Thank you so much, Pappy. I love it.
Are you going to show me that again?
Sure.
Yeah, we have to put it on full screen because I can explain what it is if it isn't showing
Yes.
up well.
I don't know
What
if you
that
can
is-
see the bear.
It's a lady with
It's kind of blurry.
with a bear over her right shoulder.
It's probably the shine
Oh,
that then you can see the bear.
that is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's made out of carved bone. That was gifted to me many, many, many years ago.
Thank you so much, Pappy.
Yeah,
I really, really love it.
did the sweetgrass fall apart when you pulled it out?
I haven't pulled it out yet because I wanted
Okay.
to talk through that with you when I do it.
Yeah, no, that's what I grew this year. That's the one I harvested this fall, so that's why it looks like that.
It smells wonderful.
Everybody just think about fresh mown lawn. on a sunny afternoon, and that smell. You just want to run out there in your bare feet through it, roll around in it.
Yep.
Let the dog in.
And turn all
Not
green.
Yeah, not in my yard because the dogs go out there. But
Yeah, I select what part of the yard I go in. The dog's part is all fenced in.
well, to my dogs and me, see, I'm a male, so to the dogs and me, the whole world's a bathroom. And you know that now I'm gonna expound on that statement a little bit more. And the reason that I say that is because we had a medicine woman come up from South America, from one of the indigenous people down there, and she was talking about, the medicine, collecting the herbs and herbal medicine and stuff like that. And she was telling about her teacher. We'd tell her where the best places to go to get the medicines and to harvest them. And so she says one of the greatest things that teacher ever told her was never harvest any of your medicinal herbs along any pathway, and never get them on the ground. And somebody asked her why. Well, why was that? She says, because that's where the drunks and the dogs pee. So, in other words, don't gather your medicine where they've been contaminated.
Best advice. That's almost as good as don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah.
If it doesn't pass the smell test, it's probably no good.
Yeah.
Or roll in the leaf pile in the doggy park. Yeah, as a kid, it didn't have to be the doggy park. It just happened to be our own yard. And Mom and Dad were like, you kids go and jump in that pile so we can take a picture. Well, I didn't come out smelling so good.
Well, some places
See,
up
when I
here,
was growing up,
they get all the leaves all piled together, and the kids go play, and they come out covered with ticks.
oh,
I always took my dogs
Usually-
out and walked in the woods, except for the midnight runs. They were always backyard.
Usually the ticks are pretty much gone when the leaves fall here. At least
Yeah.
that's been my encounter.
Yeah, the cold weather is why. Yeah.
And it usually dries up a little bit.
Do you have much of an Indian summer there, Anna?
Sometimes.
Gigi, I would have put ice on it to clean it. It would have come off much easier with ice.
What'd she do?
She got wax all over her stovetop.
Ooh.
Wax isn't fun.
turn on the oven. I know it's not. Those Scentsy burners. I have a hard time getting it out of there.
Well, you know what works good for wax and also adhesive? WD-40 spray.
Yeah.
Or peanut butter. Peanut butter works good for stickers and stuff.
I don't know if you want to spray that all over your range top, though.
No,
Well,
probably not.
It'll take it off. You'd just let it soak for a while, and
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah, you'd have to use a degreaser or something to get it off.
Hello, Camo. How you doing?
Oh wow.
Our camo friend.
I didn't know that they were hallucinogenic. God damn it! I could have fun with the mushrooms in my yard. Sorry. Thank you for the info, Camo.
You jump in on the important parts now, Dorinda.
I'm sorry. I just see shit and I gotta respond, right?
Warning for children and Dorinda.
I got a question for you. It's a little off topic, but it's on my mind. Seems like the moon and the constellations are rising a little counterclockwise, little widdershins. Seems like they're progressively rising
For us, the
in the
sun.
direction it would be counterclockwise.
And I noticed this morning
It's
when
not
I was
right.
about 10:30, I looked up and it was in the south or southeast position. But the moon
I'm telling you,
is the northeast position.
Orion's belt got got thrown across the room.
Or it's really red tonight too.
Well, if you think of the Earth as flat and the dome going over top is the top of the snow globe, so whoever shook it up because it's supposed to be the change of seasons, when they set it back down, there's something underneath one side and it tilted a little bit.
So we're just a little tilted. No wonder why I
The
feel
tilted
off.
tilt.
That's a really, 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 really good explanation.
Especially if you think about us all being a bunch of sea monkeys in an old man's.
Okay, so in a few days, we're going to have all these flat earthers coming on here having conversation.
Hey now. You know, one time in India that there were 3 different theories on the shape of the Earth. One was flat Earth. One was like a magnetosphere donut looking thing, and the other one was round. So all 3 schools of thought existed at one time in harmony without causing chaos and war, all in one place. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Well, you know what that reminds me of? Stop and think of this now. A donut. A donut looked at from the side looks like it's flat.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
A
why I
donut
always say,
look from the top looks like it's a ring, and the donut hole is round. So maybe it's all 3. Maybe we're nothing but a powdered donut.
I'd rather be jelly filled.
Well,
Me too. Me too.
it is jelly. You know, that lava
Or
coming
a
out like
or a
jelly.
Boston cream.
Ooh. Yeah.
I don't get donuts very often because I don't like the
Lava.
coffee at the donut shop, so I don't bother going in.
I get my coffee where I like it, where I like to get my coffee, and then I go to get the donut. So I got the coffee first.
No, the coffee place sells the donuts, so if I'm not going there for anything, I'll get the donuts. If I'm there, I'll get the donuts. If I'm not
I
there, well, fuck, I ain't getting donuts.
When I was a little girl, my mom used to give us pinches of coffee grounds to chew on. I don't know how many years it took before I stopped doing that.
I still do
What
it.
was,
I used to
what
do
was
a
the
lot.
thought behind that, Anna?
Straight cowboy coffee.
What's that?
What was
Dorinda?
the reason?
I asked,
don't
what was the thought process behind giving you coffee grounds?
I don't know.
Oh,
Every once in a while, she'd just give us kids a pinch of coffee grounds. I think it's because she would eat a little bit of coffee grounds. Isn't there a little bit of caffeine in it? That might be the deal.
I would say there's a lot of caffeine.
Oh, I bet it was before she was sending us off with Dad. Or with Grandma and Grandma.
Just now thought of that, huh?
Oh, 57 years later.
That's payback for you being sent back home all sugared up and everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
Or
exactly,
I
Camo.
was showing up with chocolate cake and chocolate candy when we had all white walls and white furniture and all that. Boy, everything got full of it. My mom and dad never let me live that down.
my friend, when his daughter turned 1, put her in a really pretty dress, put her in a plastic encased area, and handed her a blueberry pie and a fork, and she ate the whole damn pie.
Oh, Jimmy crickets.
But she was blueberried from head to freaking toe. Instead of giving her chocolate cake, he gave her a blueberry because her favorite was blueberry.
Oh my
I
goodness.
had a
I bet
friend,
that never came out.
you put your kid in the high chair and you feed him with a spoon. She never did that. She would put a great big giant like plastic table cover on the floor, put the chair in the middle, put her kid in it, and put the food on there and let her kid eat with his hands. He'd be food from head to toe and food all over the floor. I'm like, what age do you start to teach him to eat with utensils?
Well,
never,
that's the
I
way I
never
did with
saw
my
that
daughter.
before. I never saw that
But
before.
she had utensils, but she had spaghetti from head to toe, and the walls, it was everywhere.
Yep. That's what he
That's
gave her for
fine.
spaghetti for supper that night too. So
I
he
Yep.
dressed her all up, gave her pasta for dinner, changed her clothes, put her in another pretty dress, and gave her the blueberry pie.
I can't
That's why,
understand that.
that's why it's
Her
important.
favorite was blueberry pie. So instead of, how on your kid's first birthday, you always give them chocolate
oh my
cake so you can take pictures of them
Yeah.
covered in chocolate?
Yes, but a pretty dress, and
Yep.
there's no way that came out.
You
No,
only
he threw the
live
dress away.
once.
He bought the dress special for that day. The two dresses,
Wow.
actually.
That's
And he
why
just,
it's important that when you have a child that young, that you also have a dog that likes to take care of the child that can sit right next to them while they're eating like that, because they're mama's little helper. They'll clean that baby right up.
yep.
There you
Well,
go.
yuck.
Then you'll have blueberry flavored dog kisses.
Oh, Pappy. I love that. My
I love
daughter,
I love watching little YouTube things there, with the baby sitting there eating and the dog's right next to him and the baby's feeding the dog and the baby's got food all over itself. The dog's licking off the baby's legs and off the high chair and off the hand.
my
Yep.
daughter, something similar to that. She was smart enough to get a kick out. I'd hear her laughing. I'd turn around and I'd look at her, and the dog's sitting there looking at her. And I was like, what's going on? Then she'd like want more cracker, right? So I'm busy doing dishes, and then I'd hear her giggling and laughing, and the dog would be sitting there when I turn around. And then I caught the dog chewing on something. I'm like, oh, I got to check this out. So I sat a mirror up on the cupboard by the sink, and I went over and gave her a couple crackers, and she's watching because she knows she's not supposed to feed the dog. So I looked in the mirror with my back towards her. She was feeding the dog, and it was just making her giggle and laugh. And then when I turn around to look, she'd look really serious at me.
Little shit.
Oh, kids, I
Smart little
tell you.
pickpocket, isn't he?
It's like, that's my daughter. That's a product of me. I probably would have done the same.
Did you see Carl's statement about raising kids?
My aunt and uncle lived in
Yeah.
a trailer, and they used to hang their tree up from the ceiling at Christmas time.
Oh, Camel, you would have been the proper dad for me to have around. I think you make things a little simpler.
Yep.
I kind of like that idea. Would you be the kind of guy that would build me that special place to feed the kids? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's a great idea.
It is.
And Carl's Kitty Chow Hall.
Really good idea.
That would be the
Hmm.
kind of restaurant, wouldn't it?
Whole new meaning
when
of
we would
romper
take
room.
when we'd go to family dinners at restaurants, it didn't matter which kid it was always one of our kids. They would go to the bathroom and they'd be playing in the bathroom, and the next kid would go and they'd be playing in the bathroom. 20 minutes freaking later, they're still playing in the bathroom. They're crawling on the floor underneath the things, and it's like, get out there and eat your supper. Unlock all, you gotta crawl in, unlock all the goddamn doors, because they locked all the damn doors. Because they were having fun playing.
Get out
I haven't.
before you leave.
Just
I
making
have an
they get
idea.
exposed to all the germs so they become impervious later on.
All of us that have kids here, I'm not sure if all of us do or not. How about we give our most embarrassing moment that our children embarrassed us? Can anyone think of something funny? I'll start if you want me
Embarrassed
to.
us or embarrassed them?
Embarrassed us as a parent when they
Oh,
were
shit.
little, or something they blurted out, or whatever, little things like that. I think some people might have a hard time topping this one. I went into Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I told you guys about my thumbprint birthmark, but I never told you where it is. It's just above my hinder. So when I would wear bikini underwears, it was above my hinder. I went to Kohl's, real popular store around here. Has really nice clothes. So I went in there. I was trying on some clothes, had my daughters with me. We're in the dressing room. And one of my daughters says, "Mommy, why do you have poop on your butt? You forgot to wipe your butt." And there's a whole dressing room full of people. And I'm like, "That's not poopy, honey. That's my birthmark." And I'm in there just turning red and not even wanting to come out of the dressing room. And they're going, "No, Mommy, that's poop. It's brown."
You got me beat.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We've never had any, so I don't. We're lucky on that part.
Oh, you're just gonna leave me hang with my story, huh? You guys
Yep.
all had
No, I'm
It
going
was a
to
beautiful story, and we loved it.
Well, I've got one that I remember. When Nancy and I
Okay, I'll
were
let Pat.
when Nancy and I were married the first time, we were living in an apartment in San Antonio, and our oldest girl was just she was just a little shit. Maybe she was 2.5, 3 years old, maybe something like that. And so here it comes, New Year's Eve. So we had some friends over. They were, I think they were a Pakistani couple or whatever. So we're going to celebrate New Year's. Well, I got, at that time I drank a little bit and everything, and but I was good. I stuck with one thing, which was Ouzo, which is like a, like an anisette liquor flavored liqueur, up until
one of my
up until
favorites.
midnight, and then midnight I had to pop the cork on the champagne. And I don't recall anything after that. But the next, but the next day, My daughter was by the bed and she was shaking me awake, and I was hung over bad from the ouzo. She says, Daddy, you still sick, Daddy? Apparently, I broke the party up after that, and she was awake to see it. So she asked me if I was still sick, Daddy. Hey, hon, do you remember that? You don't? Oh, that was a place that when we turned the oven on, it would blow the door open. You remember it now? The place where Bella was hanging by her fingertips by the swimming pool off the second. Yeah, that place. Oh yeah. Yeah, brother. I'm talking to my wife for remembering the time because Bella was, oh yeah. So, and the poor little thing's holding on for dear life boy on the banister. She's ready to go down to the concrete down below. We got her.
Oh.
Daughter's a little daredevil.
Oh, kids. Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Okay, Bonnie, go ahead.
So I took my two little darlings shopping at the grocery store, small town grocery store where I grew up. They were probably 2 and 3, boy and girl. Well, I got groceries, like everything I needed. And I put the kids in the truck and I put my stuff in the back of in the truck. I must have put it inside the truck. And I went to put the basket back at the front of the store, and I turned around and I'm walking towards my truck because I'd parked down the parking lot a ways. And I'm like, what is wrong with the windows on my car, on my truck? And as I got closer, I realized what it was. I had bought a package of, what do you want to call them? Napkins, girl things. They had stuck them all over the windows of my truck on the inside. I jumped in there and I was ripping them down as fast as I could. I wanted to die.
My kids never did that.
Yeah.
Are you
My
gonna get
kids
payback
did.
someday? Are you gonna get payback someday? Make sure that happens to them.
Who's going to teach the little girl how to do that to her mommy?
Well, it wasn't that one though. It was the two middle ones. They were the ones that were, oh my gosh, they would start fires inside my house. They would smear butter on the dining room table and strip and slide. They were just, I don't know what happened with them two. And to this day, they live together, both single. Crazy kids.
I
I
forgot
love
to
how
ask
they
what
keep.
was the
I
title.
love how they keep us young.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yep.
Or they make us older before our time.
I was just gonna say.
I remember the time
We
my
know.
brother and I drove my mother crazy. We were out playing on the lawn. We were real young. she looks outside, and my brother and I were pretending we were dogs. Well, you know how dogs greet each other, right?
There,
My mother saw that. She came out of the house like a bolt of lightning.
well, my kid and the neighbor's kid were playing in the backyard, and I'm like, what the hell is that clanking noise? Right? So I go outside, and I'm watching the two of them beat the piss out of each other with homemade Chinese sticks on a chain.
Nunchucks.
That's it.
Nunchuck.
They were playing Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
Needless to say,
Mhm.
Ninja Turtles got turned off for a long time at my house.
whoa.
Hey, Chuck.
I mean, they were beating them. They both had two wooden sticks with the chain in between it. They both each had two, and they're swinging them around, not knowing what the hell they're doing, and bopping each other with them.
That's called practice, Mom. My
Toughening
big
up.
brother had a pair of them. Man, I used to love practicing. When I'd come in with welts all over my forehead, my mom thought, I don't know what she thought, but I was just like, I had my brother's nunchucks out in the garage, Mom.
My favorite cartoon with the kids was He-Man. Oh my gosh, I loved He-Man. Y'all probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
May the sword of Grayskull be with you.
That's it.
What was the title of your show tonight, Bonnie?
Be giving.
Be giving.
Okay.
We're giving stories.
So, uh, well, I think that my brother and I, being 11 months apart, being just about the same age, we're quite the little handful. My mom wasn't very attentive at times, and like this one apartment house that we lived in had like 3 stories, so we would in the wintertime go up to the top porch, do somersaults off the porch into the snowbanks.
That sounds
we
about
had
right.
we had our mom and dad pretty upset.
Sounds like
We
a
had a
tag
lot
team.
of butt paddlings.
You know, I could just see you and your siblings as like kids. Bunch of baby foxes out there just running around, rolling around, having yourself a blast.
If there was anything to get into, I think we were into it.
More like raccoons.
I don't know how many times we had our stomachs pumped when we were kids too.
I had to do that.
Being giving. That is a really, really broad subject.
Yes. But not really. It all comes from the heart, right?
True.
I just subbed Camel Carl. I'll watch it.
Ooh, I'll have to go look at that.
Well, that was a short visit, Chuck. Why didn't you come up and talk to us tonight?
Chuck, you okay?
Come up and talk to us.
See us in the funny papers.
The cartoon.
You know we're family and gonna worry about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, Badger. Sometimes you
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
take a break and disconnect in order to reconnect with yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd like to know how your tongue is doing, though.
Huh? Kind of feel like I'm getting badger dirt thrown on me. He's digging away. I'm going to grab you by the tail there, Badger.
Ooh, I can just.
Well, I'm
I'd like
glad
to
you
see
stopped
somebody
in.
try.
No. I'm glad you stopped in and said hello. If you've been avoiding YouTube.
Yeah, we didn't see
Yeah.
him over on our show today either. So
No, and he wasn't. He hasn't been on Liberty for a couple of days. If he ever went
sometimes
to
you just
Liberty,
got
I
to
don't know.
woosah. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you
I
just
think he
have to
might still be upset about
disconnect to
Travis's thing.
deeply connect.
Don't blame them.
I appreciate you
Aw.
coming in to say hi.
There's a
I
few
always
people
enjoy
that's been
He
seeing
doing
said,
you
the
and
same
talking
thing,
to
though.
you.
There's a few people been doing the same thing. They're still staying connected, but they're not going into that energy, you know. And I mean, I'm finding myself doing the same thing. I'm very, very selective now where I'm spending my time, you know, because
yes.
we went through the energy change, and that fluctuation is still out there in other places, and we don't need to be into that. Not healthy for us right now.
Yeah,
But
I'm
Gigi's
very
was
selective with
fun
where I
last night.
put my energy now.
Well, Chuck, we love you.
Pappy,
Yeah, we
earlier
always
you
miss
were talking
chaos.
about the flow. And my youngest daughter does hula hoop dancing. And that's what she always told me. She said, Mom, you don't understand. It's all about the flow. And I was like, okay. She loved it. She would perform for people and
Well, it's like the people, we see people that shoot the rapids all the time, and they do it, and they're very good at it, they're adept at it and stuff like that, where we see chaos and turmoil and obstacles to be avoided and high energy, that sort of thing, that's not us. We wouldn't think about jumping in there, you know, because we don't have the skills, or we never learned the skills, or we don't want to learn the skills, And other people jump right into it and they go with the flow. With my fascination of being afraid of heights, I would never be a trapeze artist, but I sure like watching them.
Mhm.
But different people,
yes.
their concept of the flow is different than ours. You know, so I guess
I think
I
Chuck
should
needs
have
to link
elaborated
it.
and say, jump into the flow that's comfortable for you.
Already on it, hun.
Sorry, I should have had more faith.
It's okay. Well, I hope she gets back into that because she took a break and now she's depressed. And she used to paint and she used to hula hoop dance and she used to sing. I got her voice lessons. She can do Avril Lavigne like so well. And now she sits and plays games with a mean boyfriend. I don't get it.
I think right now is the time to release those creative juices and really think until she starts expressing herself creatively again in any way that she wants to. You know,
Is Chuck in the back room?
Yep. Thank you. I see that little deal, and it's hid behind the boxes.
I love it, Chuck.
Now there's a painted face if you've ever seen one.
That's great.
What y'all doing?
Not too bad. How are you doing there, bud?
I'm here and just disappointed with all these people that claim to be helping people. Not y'all, nothing to do with y'all. It's just the majority of the factions. They're like, I don't understand. And I'm outspoken and they got me speechless. Is this?
Lots of negative energy going around right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd categorize it as idiocracy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because that's kind of what I said earlier today to Heather when we're talking, and it just seems like some people just are kind of still stuck in the matrix. They don't realize it.
I would even give them the benefit of being an intelligent thing they're stuck in, more like their heads are stuck in each other's ass, not even their own.
they're fully entrapped in the dark web of thought.
Yep.
And you could liken that to the devil's snare, right? The
Yeah.
more you panic and twist, the more it strangles you. But light diffuses it.
If you let it.
Their good intentions got wrapped up with the fact of more visual effect, I guess.
Yep.
What's that called? Yeah.
Is everybody doing okay? I've come through and checked y'all on some of your shows, but I don't even speak.
Well, we missed you.
We have missed you, Chuck,
Yep.
and we've been worried about you.
We were giving you a couple days before we started asking about you.
It took me to like yesterday morning to get over it went from my tongue to my mouth to my chin to it's just like I don't know what the hell it got me. If it wasn't in my mouth, I'd swear it was a spider bite, but I even looked it up. I can't count that out. I could have got slept with my mouth open and got bit on my tongue by a spider. They
say an average person eats 100 spiders in their lifetime.
Yep.
They don't even know it.
Yes.
That tells me there's a bunch of spiders out there that think they're freaking dentists.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, being on a motorcycle without a windshield as often as I was, ate a lot of bugs.
Thanks,
Snorted
GD.
a lot
Why
up my nose.
Robert up here?
Yeah, I don't know why Robert's not up here.
And Camo, and you can have how many?
9.
10.
Come on, Robert, get up here. Come on, Campbell,
Well, I
get
guess
up here.
9 besides me.
It's like three people sitting in the private or in the chat out there. It's like, look at them dumbasses.
Well,
Sorry
some of us are watching what the chat's saying too.
I try to keep on. It gets hard when you get in heavy commentary, I guess. But hell, Monty even called and talked to me the other day.
Nice.
Well, he texted and I called him, but
Well,
Hey,
we create boroughs for a reason, don't we, Chuck?
yeah,
That's someplace we can go for, I call it the looks within place. Everybody does it their own way, and when you peek your head out later on, you might have a different perspective on how to, how to negotiate and navigate through some of that stuff, and if it makes you feel that way, you're probably doing the right thing. You're avoiding it, because you don't need to feed off that stuff because that's not who you are.
now that's one thing that bothers me. Is something that like the shit with Travis and with Mike's channel. That if they got a problem, why don't they tell me? Not just block me out and all this. I'm used to people being grown up. Say, dude, I don't like how you do this. I don't want to have you on panel, or I don't want you commenting in chat, or I don't want you on my channel. Just be grown and say that. Not be excuse my French, don't be a bitch and hide behind the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was raised, I've told y'all too, that 100% truth. Everybody deserves 100% truth.
Yep.
Everybody has a different meaning of what they call truth, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I even try to uphold the utmost respect for even people that I can't stand.
Hey, Rocksteady.
Hey, Rocksteady.
Wolverine! Oh, sorry. I had to say it. Sorry.
Yeah, because all in all, no
Is that
matter
from the
what,
red?
even if we're alone in the desert, we're the only ones that really have to own up to what we do and answer to. And if you mean nothing to yourself, then you ain't gonna mean nothing to anybody else.
That is correct.
No.
Be true to yourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing.
Is that from the movie Red Wolverines?
Yeah. With oh crap.
They had two
Dirty
of them.
dancing guy. I can't think of his name. Patrick Swayze. Sorry.
Yeah, Patrick Sleazy.
Yep.
Oh, I ain't gonna say he's dead now, but I liked him.
And I liked him too.
Me too.
He was even good in that one that he did just before he died. That what was it called? The Beast? No. I can't remember what it was called now. But there was a lot of truths that were coming out that I didn't know were truths then.
Yeah, I don't think they're bringing that up. I don't think he died of natural causes. I think he talked too much and had two different ideals. And you know how they like to suicide people.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's not dead. Who knows?
Might be-
Maybe he's one of those ones that are not dead. Who knows?
Yeah, he might be drinking beer with JFK Jr. right now, laughing at everybody.
Yep.
What did you on that? You show up on that Corona commercial on the beach?
Yeah, I'm
I
quite.
always thought I might get a.
Back in a minute.
My wife, every time she's watching TV, if she runs into Dirty Dancing, she puts it on. That and The Breakfast Club's two of her favorite movies.
Yep. Grease.
I'm happy
I
if
love The Breakfast Club.
I find an old Clint Eastwood movie or old John Wayne movie, even though they're different. But
the next time I get a phone, I
I was-
can't have this narrow of an edge by the screen, because all it takes is just the edge of my hand touching it and I pop out.
Yes. I shouldn't be a mod with my phone. That white box just pops up there and my finger slips and oops. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, Victor.
Well, I'm really, really, really glad to sort of see you tonight, Chuck.
I'm showing a lamp or the ceiling.
Yep. Well, half the time we can't even hardly see your face anyway, but you know. There you are.
I've been
There's that handsome man.
cooking for 6 hours. I'm dragging my ass.
Would you cook today?
Oh,
Again, we're having Thanksgiving tomorrow because my wife's got to work Thursday. So I made cornbread dressing with the chicken and all in it. I made broccoli casserole from scratch, and I made homemade scratch mac and cheese with 8 different kinds of cheese in it.
Nice.
cool.
Sounds delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never had a husband that could cook.
I don't remember it being that much pain in the ass, but
It is.
here in about an hour and a half, I'm gonna put a turkey in. And then I'm
I kind of miss cooking for a family.
huh?
I said I kind of miss cooking for a family.
Yeah, my wife's sister's down that I haven't seen her. She hadn't seen in years. And last time I seen her was 25, 30 years ago. And she had some comment to make about the little house we owned. It was small. It was about 1,000, 1,200 square feet.
Come on,
Yeah.
Gigi. I did anyway.
The link's right there in chat.
No,
You
she
might have
meant
to
to.
drop it again, Bonnie.
She meant the dinner. I did.
Mm.
Hell, I'm anybody. My door's always open. I feed anybody that shows up.
Well, if I knew where you were and I could go to the States, I might show up, but I can't. So you're lucky.
Mm.
Because
You might-
husband would be home tomorrow, supper time. So it'd probably take us 2-3 days to get there, which we can't get there anyway. But whatever.
It
Well,
might
now
be.
you're making
It might be
making me
easier to get here than home, huh?
best be picking up a couple extra turkeys for when you can come across the border. Who cares what time of year it is?
That's right.
We have
That would
plenty
be
of turkey
Thanksgiving
here.
Day.
We
Yeah,
have
man.
more than enough turkey.
Yeah, I learned if I can get along with my sister-in-law that I couldn't stand then, which she's fine now. I guess old age makes people humble. And we get along fine now. I gave her a hug when she got here yesterday. And my wife, you couldn't have got a more of a reaction out of her with her mouth hanging over. I said, I'm gay. She was just like, even her
That's awesome.
kid. And I talked to her now, and I'm like, I can't be that way. There's like, well, I said, I'll treat her how I'm treated. That's the way I'm with everybody. If you treat me like shit, I'll come back at you with it. But
And she being nice to you.
Feels good. doesn't it?
yeah, she's nice, talkative to me and all that. But the last time I seen her, she called me everything but a child of God. And I told her, I said, tell you what, I said, I'm on lunch. I got to go back to work. I said, I'll be back here in 4.5 hours, 5 hours, because I got to drive home. I said, I'm not going to ruin your sister and my wife's time with you. I said, you better be out of my house when I get home. I said, my wife, do whatever you want to, but you're not welcome here anymore. I said, you start any shit, bring your husband, which is a cop, into it. I said, they'll be hauling corpses out of here. I said, have a nice day, and left. She called me everything in the book. And now she's surprised we've been together 35 years. Me and my wife's had a better relationship than any of her 9 siblings.
Probably why she kept you.
Yeah.
You were malleable.
She said it's because I'm a talent. She said she didn't want no yes man.
Took her 35 years to train you the way you are now.
Oh God, how I'd have been without her, huh?
Yeah.
But I'm nice to her. I don't give a like my youngest son. He thought I was a racist. Me and him went to the store here a while back. Black girl works at this store up here, dollar store around the corner. I walk in, he got his stuff, and I come up there with a thing of those white chocolate Twix or Kit Kat. She said, "Yeah, you up here getting a refill?" I said, "Yeah, my white privilege is running low." And she busted out, I busted out, and he stood there with his mouth hanging open. He goes, "I guess you aren't racist." I said, "Well, I don't know who told you that." But I said, "I'm not."
Well, the way that I look at it, everybody should be human racist.
Yep.
Yeah.
It don't
Some
take
people just take things too
You don't-
literally.
it don't take a color of somebody's skin or none of that to make them a piece of shit. They can be a piece of shit no matter what color they are. Excuse
Yeah.
my French again, but
Very true.
Yep, we interact every day with people that are where they are from the choices they've made. And we interact with them from the choices we made. So someplace in between the two is where the real truth lies.
yep. There's always 3 versions, each side and the truth. So
Yep. I got so damn lazy this year, I didn't even take the turkey out of the freezer. It's still in there. I got a big old ham.
yeah, I made everybody laugh yesterday. I don't know if I told you all this. I shot my first turkey. I scared the shit out of everybody in Walmart when I did it.
That ain't no fun. They don't try to run away from you.
Yeah, they're all grouped up, wrapped in plastic.
You guys ever hear that turkey bowling? They set up bowling pins in an ice, like they put like 2x4s and make an alley, and you use frozen turkeys to bowl with, or like out in the parking lots around here. They do that at the bars and stuff.
Oh wow, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Whoever wins
I might hit some of the pins if I do it that way.
Yeah, the winner gets the tenderized turkey.
Heather and them got kicked out again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all leaving?
Sorry, y'all.
No, they're gonna stay in chat.
Are you in
They
the
had a weird internet day. I was on earlier and just all of a sudden it went right back to computer restart. I said, "What the hell is this?" I must have Anna touched the wrong button again on her phone. Be careful, Anna. You might hear about some launches of missiles or something. You might have got that special phone they've been looking for.
Got that special touch. I've been touched. I got that print on my butt too that shows it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I have the Orion stars in moles on my back.
Really?
Yeah, and so do my son and my daughter.
Wow. No, my mom's thumbprint was on her belly, and mine ended up just above my right cheek.
You guys want a bunch of recipes? Here, look on this website. The guy's got he's got a YouTube channel too, but he makes all kind of New Orleans style food.
Ooh.
Did you put it in private chat or a regular chat?
Regular, I'll drop it in private too if you want.
Mm.
You know, I was thinking, Anna, you know, that birthmark, that probably indicates that you're descendants of the Star People.
I kind of heard that.
That or connect the dots
Cool.
in one life.
Just keep the pen right there because that's the only dot.
You're a hard puzzle to figure, huh?
Well, when it came to tattoos and thinking about getting tattoos, because it's kind of oval shaped, you know, it's looks like a thumbprint. My mother and I, the first piece of jewelry that she gave me after years and years of not seeing her for a long span of time, was a pin that I still have to this day of the end of the trail. If you know what that is, it's the Native American on a horse slumped over. So it holds meaning to me because then she told me the story about it. And what I had envisioned was having like a grapevine wrap around it, just without the leaves, maybe a couple of dead leaves on it or dried up leaves and feathers hanging from it, and make it look like a medicine shield with that in the center. But I never did it.
Camo Carl, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, Anna, you
I'm gonna say,
did do it in your
I'll say it.
mind.
Well,
It's done. It just hasn't been brought into the physical.
yeah. And I was like, too, and it's kind of a pun, you know. The end of the trail, the back end of the trail.
Yeah.
Wow, we're awfully quiet now.
Oh, I went into chat to read what Camus had said.
And
Yeah, I was
Bonnie
right.
answered very, very astutely, by the way.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert, for throwing another log on the fire.
But you need to come up here and join the fire.
He put that old wet log on the fire, so it's going to smoke us out now.
Yeah, maybe.
Robert says, "I'm going to smoke
In
some
my
salmon."
younger years, I probably would have been very attracted to you, Camo Carl.
The things that come out around a campfire.
I was
Yes, they
going to
do.
say, why just
There's-
in your younger years?
Well, because now, you know, I'm at that stage in life where you're just not looking anymore. But there's a lot of things about him. I've watched his work. I used to work on high-speed sewing machines, and I've seen his work, and I have admiration for Carl when I listen to the man that he is. I think that he's a very good man with a
Mhm.
good heart.
He does have
Yep.
a good heart.
He's not afraid to stand up.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure that vehicle that Carl's got that he's so proud of has got a few good miles on it that could probably take good winter weather if it ever headed that way.
I think it takes
Yeah,
winter weather the way it is. He's just on the other side of the lake from me.
Hey, Carl, the good thing about it is you come back. Being pushed down ain't the judgment. Being the comeback part's the judgment.
Maybe I should find myself one and set it up. You can see how mine would be. Mine would have tie-dye and feathers hanging off from it, and it would be souped up with turbo in it, and probably have wheelie bars on it.
Oh, I'm going to have to.
You,
Paint it
Anna.
up like the Partridge Family.
Me and Carl have talked a couple times on panels, but we've talked a lot in chat, and he's the other one. We've never really actually spoke to each other. And I said, no. I like Carl. He's he kind of reminds me of me. Is like you can't let shit get you. It's just I always look at somebody's got it worse than me. So
Yeah.
You read that, Anna?
Yeah.
I'm stepping down, you guys. You have a great night. I'll watch it all later. Bye.
See you later.
Love you all.
Night, Dorinda.
bye.
Look at that bear butt and that badger. Looks like it's just going to hop right up there and bite it.
And the smiling chihuahua on yours.
Yeah, it thinks it's 10 feet taller than that bear.
It's like I
My
said the
grandma-
other day, and I think on our neck of the woods,
Yeah.
we think we can do it all alone, and then something just happens.
Yeah.
Goes for
I
you
was-
too.
I just had a brain fart.
Anna, did you see Heather and Jeff's comment?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Co-creator.
I put it on screen. Yep. That's what I kept saying. My last marriage would be the last. Never happening again. I will never. Nope.
Never say never, because that kind of
I know.
Oh,
I keep
was a
telling
guy I
people
was
that
dating.
too.
There was a guy I was dating that came right out and said right in front of me, "Yep, I'm never getting married again." And I was like, "Well, that, I didn't have that intention." And he brought that up, but now that he said that, makes me think, what am I?
And don't, but that's the negative that you need to not let block it. Just don't let it come in. That's
Yeah. Well, it was a long time ago anyway.
yeah. But that's when you hang on to that, it messes you up. Every person has value, way more value than they believe. And that's what happened. It is from people talking negatively and being surrounded by that negative energy. It's made us feel that way too. And we need to get rid of that.
Yes.
If we were created under his image, I don't think there's any flaws there.
Either that or he's got a sense of humor.
Well, it's all in what it's looked at. If you don't have a high feeling about yourself, or you're not satisfied with yourself, then you always seem to be out there looking for approval or whatever from someone else outside of yourself. And we know that's not the way it should be. That's just the way it is. And I'm going to comment on Camo Carl's last comment that he just made. He says, it's funny, he says, but I get the feeling that I've known Chuck or a doppelganger of him. And I'm going to put a little extension out there. Most of us fellas here, and probably all the ladies here, have that same feeling about each other in here. I mean, all the males in here, I think we've been warriors together, and we know it. And we're warriors together again in this group. In our own ways. We fit together. And it's the same with the ladies in this group. And the ladies in this group and the men in this group, what a compliment they are to each other. That's the way the energy is supposed to be balanced. We're riding that seesaw back and forth there, giggling and laughing together. Both sides are moving equally, even though we're having fun with each other.
My wife was talking to everybody. Remember that one night on her way out, and she's like, how come all them other shows you watch, you guys don't get along like all them? I said, because this is basically the misfits that don't get along with the other idiots.
The real fit.
Yeah. The ones that got their heads on straight. Sort of. As straight as we can have them.
I get tired of looking through other people's eyes after a while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who farted? Was that when I made the brain fart? I just found that. He's got a little green person down there. It was the dog. It's on the other end of the couch. How did you hear that?
I had a guy a while back walk up to me in the store and start talking to me, and I'm like, he goes, you act like you don't know me or something. I'm like, no. He goes, I just talked to you last week. He goes, you did get a haircut. I'm like, no, I had a haircut now for 2 or 3 months. He goes, I swear you got a double that looks like you, talks like you, acts like you, dresses like you. I'm like, you tell that poor sucker he better protect me with his life, because if I die, he's the ugliest person around.
Did you he was watching reruns of Vikings?
Don't know. And I was like, I've heard a few people say there's a UPS guy that we could pass for doubles. I'm like, maybe my dad wandered or something.
Howdy,
That's
Monty.
funny. When my youngest daughter was born, there were a bunch of redheads being born. Like, we're in a small town, 1,500 people, and there were a bunch of redheads. And the survey was like, who's
Monty.
the milkman? And I was helping my brother-in-law at his garage, and one of the auto parts guys came in, and he had red hair, and I started laughing. He's like, what? And I said, you must be the milkman that's been getting her. Not here, but everywhere else. It was just,
It's been
I
a
had
few.
6 kids, and none of them look alike. The other 5 are all blonde. Or were.
Y'all got quiet.
Yeah, I got a text. That's a Canadian Patriot texting me.
Oh wow.
She said BB, or he's opened a channel up, and it's inspired by everybody that's gotten axed from other channels.
Who opened one up?
BB72, yeah.
Oh.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I think that will probably happen naturally, you know. Creators seem to be pulling like-minded and like-spirited people together.
Yeah, there must be a reason where most of the ones that get kicked from somewhere get along, or the ones that don't agree with it get along.
Yeah. We're going to have to come up with a thing we call Easy Tube. We're easy.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if us girls should be saying that.
Maybe my comment I made last week people didn't like. The only thing I can think of when I said I don't know which is worse, the people that doubt the information or the people that have disinformation, but even the information channels are getting bad too.
Yeah.
Well, like a lot of news organizations out there, if they don't have a story, go out and create one. That's what they seem to do.
True.
You know, it's all about entertainment as far as I'm concerned, or trying to be an influencer, or trying to say, hey, I'm somebody important out here, listen to me, and I got information nobody else has. And I'm saying, yeah, okay, I've heard that stuff before.
Yep.
Well, you start a rumor out on one end of town, or you tell a story about yourself on one end of town. By the time you get to the other end of town and someone has you on that end of town, it's all twisted out of whack.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You can take a line 100 people up and tell the first person something. It can be a 5-word sentence, and by the time it gets to the end, it's going to be completely different.
And probably a whole long dictionary, or actually probably a short novel.
Yeah. It seems like each person wants to add something to that which was said. That's why I don't trust most of the history books that I read.
Yep, Carl the Banished sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you question something, it elicits in a lot of people a defensive mode for some reason. You know, it doesn't seem to trigger them saying, "Huh, that's a good question. Let me go check that out." You'll find very few people that do that. They don't want to step down from the step that they just made in their own belief system. Hello, North Carolina girl.
Hello.
Hi, North Carolina girl.
You know,
I like
you know
that
how I
sort of
envision
check.
Chuck, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Because, we know that he can cook, right?
Mhm.
I envision Chuck opening up a roadside diner someplace. Behind that counter there, cooking and everything, and he'll be just like the commercial there, where the guy's behind the diner and the guy comes in with a shotgun and going to rob the place, and the place is all full of police officers.
Yeah.
Is that Aaron? I can't remember his name, but that would be Chuck's diner. Everybody in there would be of the same ilk, and anybody that comes in there that tries any nonsense will all get badger bit.
Yeah, like, I've always treated cops when I worked anywhere really good, military guys. When I was cook, chef, whatever you want to call it, in one place, we did barbecue, but we did a lot of short order. But he also did a lot of stuff with aged steaks and stuff. So, but he told me to handle discounts and stuff to how I wanted, or I could comp who I wanted, as long as it was like military, first responders, and cops, and so I never.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
I'd always comp everything, even if they were off duty. I'd like, and I was just the cook. I wasn't even the night manager or day manager when I was there. But you don't piss off the cook, 'cause the cook will run off your customers.
Yeah, a lot of guys learned in the military. There were 3 people that you didn't piss off. You know, that was the cook, the supply clerk, and the medic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take any one of those out of the equation, and life's miserable.
Oh yeah.
And Lord help you if all 3 of them are friends.
Yeah, I don't want to have the person that supplies the toilet paper be my enemy.
We know they might still give you toilet paper, but it won't be on a roll.
Here's your corn cob.
This is called field expedient toilet paper.
Yeah, recycled toilet paper. You flip it over and shake the shit out of it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, reusable. It's pretty rough. You have to chew it to get it soft first, but it's kind of like old leather, you know. Nah, Chuck, that old badger right there, he'd never have to worry about that. He'd be on the woods like Sasquatch and just grab the nearest rabbit and say, "Here, sorry, go walk."
Or be like, I can't say it.
Anna, breathe.
Did you see what I changed my picture to?
Yes, they did.
It says no dog shit, no YouTube. It should have been no bull ass.
Well,
Someday I'll try to figure out how to get onto my computer and load some videos and try to play it. I'll get some of Worm and Millie. I have a ramp built outside for the dogs to go down off the deck into their doggy yard that's all fenced in, right?
Mhm.
Well, there's carpeting on that so that they have traction on it. They like to go do the butt scoot, so when they're going down there, it looks like if you'd like to just draw in a little toboggan while you're filming them, make it look like they're tobogganing down there. Because they get their little arms, they get their front legs just to going and their butts just to dragging down there, and I'm like, it's just funny as heck.
well, when did they start doing that? When the toilet paper shortage hit last year?
I'll
They
tell
were
you.
trying to teach you something.
I said, wouldn't you just like to be the person that gets caught doing that? Oh my gosh. At least I could say I learned it from my dogs.
Yeah, I was going to bring some of them. Ask Pappy if he knew how to. Oh, well, there it is. Pappy, you know what a Merleton is?
A Merleton?
Yeah, Merleton or whatever. They're like a gourd or a squash or.
I haven't heard that term, no.
And I think the other
I
term
might
is
know
like
it by another name.
chayote or something like that. It's spelled like CHAYOTE. They look like a pear.
I'm not familiar with that one.
There's that recipe thing I dropped. This guy makes a seafood dressing with that in it.
Huh. What part of the world is that indigenous?
New Orleans, I think. I think it came from. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
North Carolina saying hello to Screw Tube.
Pear-shaped fruit of West Indian annual vine of the gourd family that is widely cultivated as a vegetable. It's chayote, Chayyote.
No, yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. From the West Indies, huh?
Yeah, and Louisiana adopted it by the people that brought it over and the birds like turkeys, ducks, all that it does with it fills them with oyster dressing and adds side dishes to baked plantains and local squash called merle. Let's see, recommended are they for gumbo, stuffed merleton, broiled flounder, as well as a bread pudding and carrot cake.
Huh.
I never heard of it either.
The plantains, those are the green bananas that you cook, right?
Yep. They're big old. They're bigger than bananas, but you eat them ripe, you can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
I had a Puerto Rican friend of mine that had made it. I called it a banana burrito, but it was some kind of plantain thing that his mom made. She'd make homemade caramel and she fried the plantains with like a honey sauce and give it to the kids. And it was like he said that's a Puerto Rican cream filled donut to them.
Huh. Sounds good. I'm waiting for you to come up with a recipe to how you cook loofah gourds. What do you fill them full of cheese and just squeeze it out like you do cheese whiz?
Yeah, that you'd have to have some sharp teeth, huh?
Well, that'd rule me out.
You didn't run anybody off, North Carolina girl. Sometimes they just come through and say hello, and they're just passing through.
Yeah, I was passing through North Carolina. I was going to tell everybody hi and leave, and you see where I am.
Aren't those loofahs like just eating those big shredded wheat bales, only bigger?
Oh, yeah.
They're like them things you wash with.
Yeah.
We used to, you can't find those big shredded wheats like you used to years ago, Anna. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I bought some last year. I haven't looked lately.
Yeah, I don't see them in the grocery stores over here, but I remember, growing up, my mother would get those, and the first thing she'd do was pour boiling water over them. And then drain the water off, and then we'd pour the cream over top, put the sugar on, and eat it that way.
That's like, I don't know if anybody's aware of it. Have you ever heard of a bitter melon? Bitter melon will control blood sugar, makes your pancreas start creating insulin again, and a lot of people eat it. It ends up getting their pancreas working, and they become non-diabetic.
Creator has so many medicines out there. Food is medicine. If you find the right foods and you put the right foods in combination with the right herbs and stuff, I'm sure there's a cure out there for everything.
But people eat refined and junk.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff has so many chemicals and stuff in it now. It's not even really food. Just like that movie Idiocracy,
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine earlier on the phone, and we were like, I told him, I said, if the government was really worried about our health, they would have banned fast food and all this junk food years ago.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anybody that smokes out of tobacco pipes?
Not anymore. I
smoke my pipe once in a while, and I got 7. Oh shit! probably 10 of them here. Why?
Because I came across some really awesome ones, and I was just wondering if anybody knew anybody that thinks of some really awesome pipes.
Well, you might want to check online, Anna, because there are some pipes out there that are collector's items and can go for quite a price.
Scrimshaw or fancy carved
or very rare or
yeah.
high-end makers. I've seen estate pipes go $800-900.
Yeah, I gave a buddy of mine my dad's pipes. I knew that he paid a lot for them when he got them back in the 60s or 70s. He'd smoke a pipe every now and then, but he got back a hold of me later and goes, "You sure you want to give me these?" That one pipe, that odd looking one that was in there. He said, "Yes, yeah." He goes, a buddy of mine was looking and he's into that. He goes, "That pipe's worth about $1,200." And I'm like, "I gave them to you as long as you ain't in for profit." He goes, "Hell no, that's my favorite pipe."
Yeah.
Well, like these are numbered. I have one that's Falcon number 4, and it actually has a really cool metal end on it. I'm just gonna put them on here.
Okay,
so you
show and
guys-
tell.
Show and tell. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this. I don't know how well you guys can see them. Can you see
Okay,
that
yeah.
twist
That's,
in there?
That almost looks like a Dr. Graybo made those metal bowl pipes. I make a pipe just like that, Anna. That one's made out of cherry, the one you're holding.
Yeah, I like that. That sort of looks like the one that my dad had that I gave my buddy that was worth a lot, but it was shaped like that, but the outer edge was shiny and it had little scroll marking on it. I think it was some kind of early Graybo. That one's cool too. It looks like a ladle.
Yeah.
My dad could have probably
They're
told you what every one of them were.
I just thought they were so cool. I bought them at an estate sale.
Yeah, some of them
Cool.
might be collector's items depending upon, some of the brand names were like Churchill, Stanwell, some of the Nordic pipes. But that cherry pipe, that looks so familiar. I mean, here, I'll show you pictures of the ones that I've made. Well, actually, I made 5 of them. One's in Australia, one's in Kentucky, and one's in northern New York, and I've got the other 2 here. They're all from the same branch of cherry wood.
And the cherry one that you saw, it says ROP on it, ROPP Deluxe from France, and it has a number on it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's probably a model
That's
number.
cool.
This is one
That's
here that I
cool.
made out of pieces of cherry.
That is
Yeah,
really
right.
neat.
That is
I
pretty.
like that, Pappy.
And then here's another one I made from that same piece of cherry, just further down the limb.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
Yeah, the stems, I went to the Missouri
second
Meerschaum site. They sell the stems, the ones that make corncob pipes.
The second one you showed makes me think of like a Sigmund Freud pipe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's made to stand by itself, It's I kind of like the straight or the bent pipes. Both of
I
these
have
are
one-
made to take a filter too.
I have one that's really super long, like you hold way down by your belly or whatever. I
Yeah,
have that packed away though.
yeah, those are called church wardens.
I
have
just
a
like unusual things.
I have a buddy of mine, he smokes his pot in one. It looks like it's made out of Scrimshaw. It might be, but he smoked pot in it. He found it in an estate sale, and he thought at first it was like missing half of it, but it's not. It's it's just got a stubby nipple and a little thing on the end of it looks like bone that's slid in
I'm
there for
probably
a
gonna get
mouthpiece.
more slices of pizza later for it.
I was
What did
like, you smoking the wrong thing out of it might be worse. But he's like, well, it's worth what I paid for it, and I use it, and he's had it forever. So.
Oh, both of my grandpas smoked pipes, and I just loved the smell of the tobacco. I don't know. I
Me
just, a
too.
lot of people would sit there and their eyes would water and everything, but I just loved it.
Yeah, I'm smelling it now. You're
Pipes
talking
and
about it.
cigars.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's made out of a corn cob. It's a corn
I
cob
like
pipe.
it. See, there was a
called the
lady that
Wow.
used to live next to my grandma and grandpa when I was really little. I think I might have told you some stories about her, but her name was Gigi. And she had the longest white hair and lived in this little itty bitty little cabin next to my grandma and grandpa. And it was 2 rooms. The first room you walked into had the big wash pans hanging there and, all kinds of stuff hanging on the walls in a wood pile. And then you go into the next room and her single bed was off in the corner. She had an old wood cook stove that she cooked on summer and winter. And a little teeny table with 2 chairs. She chopped her own wood and she smoked a pipe. And I thought she was the coolest thing I ever saw.
A lot of women back in the day, they would dip snuff or smoke pipes,
Yeah, old Garrett Tobacco, that old
cigars.
can of snuff.
Yep.
Because
Lot of
that would save me a few bucks just smoking out of a pipe. I wouldn't have to buy these darn tubes and I wouldn't have to work so darn hard making cigarettes.
That too, and you could pop on it a few times, put it down, and probably cut down too.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling I'd probably be doing that. Yep.
Yeah, you
Well-
get all the nicotine you want out of 1 or 2 puffs, and
Well, I used to smoke Camel Straights. I think using a filter's been a lot better for me, but I'm a chain smoker.
I did Camel Straights. I still smoke Camel filters. I used to get Picayunes. I don't know if you ever heard of those. Those are from Picayune, Mississippi. They're like a Camel Straight, but they're like as long as a 100 without a filter.
Yeah, like the old Pall Mall Red Devils.
Yeah. You
And
probably
that's
heard
what
of
my
Picayunes, ain't you, Pappy?
The Picayunes I didn't have. No, I never bought any of those. But I mean, for years I was into Chesterfield and the Pall Malls and Camels and Lucky Strike. And I finally switched out into filters. Now I don't do anything but roll my own with just untreated tobacco.
Yeah, probably the best way to do it because half the problems in it's what they put in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even that commercial papers, the papers that I buy, the tubes that I buy, I don't buy the tubes here in the United States. I buy the ones they're manufactured up in Canada by Premier. And the
Yeah,
reason I do that is because most of the papers that are sold in the United States have a flame retardant in it. Did you know that?
Yeah, but they go out all the time. I like
Yep.
Premiers. They roll better, they smoke
right.
better, they taste better.
They put that in there because of people falling asleep with cigarettes and causing fires. That's what they said. That
Yeah.
was the
If you got any papers and you can see the little fine lines in them, my dad used to say that was like gunpowder they put in it.
well, I wouldn't doubt it.
It was fine enough. It kept the cigarette paper lit to where your cigarette wouldn't go out.
Here, have a dose of saltpeter.
Yeah. Yeah, I started smoking when I was a kid to quit dipping and chewing. 'Cause my first job at 13, I got a job at a stable, and I started off slave breaking mules for people to use on their farms, and moved up to breaking horses, and when I got good at that, they started having me working with the guys who was doing the race horses, and I started making really good money then. I thought as a kid, but hell, I was making as much then when I got into race horses as most people at a decent job make now, and that was 40 years ago. But hell, I dipped Levi Garrett chewing tobacco and dipped Copenhagen, and I started smoking Bull Durhams to quit dipping and chewing.
I'm surprised you didn't when you was breaking mules down there. I'm surprised you didn't chew brown mule. You remember that?
I've had Bay Twist. I never had that.
Yeah, brown mule used to come in a press square plug. You have to cut a chunk off with your pocket knife.
Kind of like Cannonball.
You might as well just bit the ass of a mule, because that was some harsh stuff right there.
Kind of like Cannonball.
Yeah, except it was flat. It was pressed hard.
You ever heard of Bay Twist?
Oh yeah.
Look like cat turds, real long ones.
Yep. Yeah, they dipped that tobacco right down in whatever the flavoring was in there, and they twist it nice and tight and everything. And most of them had some molasses and stuff in it too, or some kind of black strap or something like that in it, you know.
Yeah. Everybody used to ask me, all my other buddies, they dip Skull. How can you do that? Copenhagen is what I got used to. I started with Levi Garrett and went to Copenhagen when I couldn't get it. Hell, I was buying at the damn little store out here where I lived, and I was 13 years old, and that was fine back then.
Yeah, I was when I was on the farm there for a while. You know, of course, we couldn't. No smoking up in the hay mow and stuff like that, you know, and so I got used to carrying some pipe tobacco. Not pipe tobacco, but chewing tobacco with me. You know, if we were mowing away hay or something like that, and I'd have a cut of either Red Man or Yankee Girl, and I had a cut of that Yankee Girl in one time, and we were putting up hay. But it looked like it was getting ready to going to start raining, and we had hay bales laying in the field. So they were picking those hay bales up just as fast as they could before they got wet, you know, and bringing them to the barn. And we had a conveyor belt that it went up the elevator in one end, come into the door, and then it hooked to another. It was still an elevator, but what it was a bracket that went across the whole peak of the barn, the whole length of that barn, and it had a kick plate on it, and you could kick the bales off one side or the other side, you know, and it was chain driven, and it had hooks up there, and the hook would grab the bale and keep it moving down the chain. And so they had those bales, they were putting them out there end to end, and I was up in the hay mow. I'd grab a bale of hay, and I'd take it and I'd stack it and grab another bale and stack it. And boy, they started coming in fast. And when they started coming in fast, they buckled the chain. And when they buckled the chain, the kick plate flipped to the other side. And I didn't know it because I'm up there, and it's about 120 degrees up there. I'm sweating away. I got a big old cut of Yankee Girl. And I reached over to get a bale, not knowing that kicker plate had flipped over to the other side. And that bale come down and hit me right between my shoulder blades. And down I went with that bale of hay. And then, of course, the rest of the bales were end to end. They buried me in that. 120 degrees under bales of hay with a cut of Yankee Girl in my mouth that I swallowed.
I bet you were green for a little while.
Oh, yeah. There were some interesting bales of hay I'm sure the cows got later that year, too. Oh, boy, was I sick. Oh.
Yeah, I knew I needed to quit dipping and chewing when I got to the point that I didn't have to spit no more. And I was like, I need to get off this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to end up with stomach cancer and stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to the point where I couldn't eat nothing much. It didn't turn my stomach. I mean, that was weird because you figure that would, but it mixed with food. And I could drink a Dr. Pepper and it was fine. But if I ate being hot out there or something to go eat lunch, and that food would hit my stomach with that tobacco juice and being hot, and it's like,
yeah.
And I found out too, the guys that smoke, you can go up to the the stable over there, away from everything. They had a place on the porch. The guys that smoke and go smoke. So I'd go up there and roll me. I went up there once, and the guys was rolling, so I got me some. They rolled Prince Albert. I got Bull Durham. And,
Yeah.
Hell, I got good enough. I could be on horseback and roll one hand. But that was 100 years ago. I probably couldn't roll. I couldn't roll enough tobacco up. You could probably puff on it once, one handed anymore. Probably couldn't do it with two.
Yeah, with my arthritic fingers, no, I'd end up just putting the tobacco in my mouth and chewing it.
Yeah. About 35, 40 years of mechanic in both my hands. They got some knots on some knuckles, but I don't have good sensation in the ends of them anymore. I've hit my hand so many times, both of them, thumbs and palm of my hand on the side and stuff with a hammer. And
You know what? You know what I'm going to say to you, Chuck? You know, we talking this stuff, and everybody say, "Well, these rough old boys and stuff." That wasn't nothing.
no,
You know what was rough and even tougher than that? Was those gals that still wanted to kiss us.
I knew an old gal was a buddy of mine's girlfriend. Every time she kissed him, she'd steal his chew or his dip.
Oh, God. I was fixing to say amen.
Nastiest that was, she's as pretty as the day is long. There ain't a prettier Playboy model there ever was as that girl. And I don't know what she's seen in that boy. His name was Bubba Jones.
Yeah.
Bonnie just turned green, you know.
He broke up with her because he couldn't afford it. Said that girl put a dip or a chew in her mouth, and they'd go somewhere to eat, and she wouldn't even take it out of her mouth, and then want him to get, when they get done, wanted his pouch or his can.
Oh, my goodness. Good night, Victor.
Night. She was one of them good old country gals too. She get out there and wrestle with them boys and whoop most of them.
Daisy May.
Yeah. But she worked on a dairy too, so you imagine she's worked her ass off.
I
There's a
think
question for you.
I think she could Google that.
Most mobile home walls aren't very thick.
Maybe 4 inches on both sides, and the inside's probably less, maybe 2 or 3. And my boy getting on the dog, he growling at the other. He bit him in the
Tell you
Bit him in
what you do is you walk up to that door jamb, open the door, and measure the width of that piece of board that's in between the
Molding.
edge of the door, the molding,
Yeah, the frame, yep.
and
Door frame.
figure that you want to go a little farther than that with the size of your drill bit.
Boy, listen to Anna go to town here.
Yep.
You go, girl.
What a good way to do it too is start your hole on the outside, even if you ain't got a drill bit long enough. Start it on the outside, then take your Phillips screwdriver in and work it in a circle, and then tap it with a hammer. It'll come through for a pilot hole. Then you could just drill both sides out how big you want them.
Make sure you start with the smaller bit first, and then work your way up to the larger bit.
I've gotten so I like to use those step bits to do the pilot hole. You know,
Yeah.
they got the different diameters on it, you know, because if you're going to go from one side of the wall to the other side of the wall, you know, you're going to probably have to fit some kind of grommets or something there around the pipe you're putting in there.
But
You
you,
know,
want to
in order
make
to-
sure that there's no
Yeah.
electrical wiring there either.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure on both sides of the wall there's no plug.
Night, Jeff and Heather.
Or water line.
Right.
Good night.
Okay. Good night, Jeff and Heather. Yeah, I got to get up earlier in the morning too. Take the wife for some lab work.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's, you know, the annual physical stuff.
Just
I
regular.
do mine, I
Okay.
do mine next month.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I was getting calls from doctors saying that I'm supposed to come in for my mammogram. I had mammogram done once. They had me come in a second time, and I said that's the last time.
Yeah, I won't. Nope.
You know, yeah, you said, well, the last time you checked, they were both still there. So what's the problem?
Yeah, yeah. You tell me to feel for lumps. They're big bumps, so I'm just fine with what I got.
You know, I'm fortunate that I've got cats here, and I've got a lab here. So, you know, every once in a while, a cat will get up on top of me and everything, so I get my cat scanned for free. You know, and then the lab will come over and give me a kiss, and I have my lab work too.
You get it daily.
If I could just get them to do a damn printout, I could send to my doctor. I guess it'd save me some money.
Just stick some ink on those paws and show them.
North Carolina girl, if you're gonna buy it, go to a pawn shop. You probably get one real cheap.
I was gonna say our garage sale. I've gotten so many tools from garage sales.
You might
Yeah,
have
Suze.
North
every one of my
Carolina girl, don't you have someone you know you can borrow one from?
Good night, Suze.
You ask one of those people that's real particular about their stuff. They'll probably drill the hole for you so that they can
Yeah.
use the tool the way they think it should be used.
Yeah. That's
Well,
how I got my
Hell, getting
outside
a hole
hydrant.
drill is probably, you know, getting a hole drill is probably worth making a lunch for them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
depending on where you live around here, usually a 12-pack of beer will get just about anything done as long as you don't let them start drinking it before they do the job.
Good night, Susan.
Right.
I have
That's
a
any
friend.
job I've learned.
I have a
Pay
friend.
afterwards.
I have a YouTube friend down in Kentucky, and they got hit by a severe ice storm last year, and boy, he lost a lot of trees. And they went down across the road and everything, and without electricity for over 2 weeks. And finally, the road crews and everything come in there. Well, didn't have a whole heck of a lot of money, you know, but he makes what he calls DNA. You know, he has a still. So these were out of state crews that had come in there for the disaster recovery and stuff. He got the trees in his yard cut down, hauled away, everything, and he said it only cost him 3 quarts.
You leaving, Robert?
Wow.
I think he was saying goodnight to Pappy.
Well, I'm not gone yet, Robert. I'm half gone.
Yeah, I'm all here, but I'm not all there.
Yeah, like they say up in Maine, you can't get there from here.
Yeah. Unless you go in your car.
Call.
The
Call.
jigsaw's good too, North Carolina girl. That's what I got to cut out my doggy door.
My friend is afraid of anything that plugs in. She doesn't like the mixer. She doesn't like the blender. She doesn't like any of that stuff.
Just tell her
So
don't touch the
she's
metal
like-
part.
She's like, are you gonna saw this for me? I want this sawed up here, you know, have a skill saw so I can saw stuff. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And she's like, you know me, I can't touch it. And then that one day she wanted something done, so she grabs a drill She didn't know how to change the bit or anything. But she's like, I'm just scared of these things. She just starts shaking. So I'm like, I'll do it for you, Judy. I'll do it.
Wonder what, I don't know. I've always built stuff since I was little, and I love it.
I used to have a wood shop when I was married, made a lot of stuff out of wood.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah.
I always figure the more things that you can learn how to do, if you ever have to do something someday, you can do it yourself.
I know I think if we get that building out there, I'm going to be doing a lot of, well, I'm going to be calling Robert. What's the cheapest way to do this?
Anna, you need to start your own show. Red Green got a show. They show how to do all kinds of nifty things. You could. I mean, you're part red already, so you're halfway there.
No, call it.
Yeah.
Oh, and never mind. I was thinking something. The Red Woman Show.
And a banana.
Hey, Camo Carl, are you fishing? Everybody going to read his comment now, right?
Well, and I was fixing to tell him, me and somebody else were kind of joking about starting a dating channel because I see a lot of flirting going on, and I've heard some comments.
Lonely.
And not just here. I mean, other channels, and well, I haven't seen a lot of it here, but in other channels I've seen them, and they were like, right? There's so many people alone that I feel for them.
Yeah. Well, you don't know how many are on there playing games either, though, sometimes.
No.
Well,
Right.
This is true. That's true.
And there's a lot of gamers out there.
Yeah. And that's what I said. It's, how do you know through a computer?
Yeah. Well,
But
I
then,
mean, some of us, I'm going to say pretty much all of us kind of have a knowing, from either hearing their voice, maybe seeing their picture up on seeing their face up if they come up on a panel, or getting the feeling from the comments. Many of us are probably pretty well attuned to the people.
yes.
And whether or not they're being truthful or not, but I'm not saying that we can't be fooled, because some camouflage is very good, but
Yeah.
Most of the time, and of course we're attracting like people here, so there's a lot more transparency here than there are on other channels, definitely, for sure.
That's true.
I don't know if
Bonnie,
you
I
guys
got something.
I don't get accused of it, but I guess you guys notice I talk about my wife quite a bit, so that
Bonnie, I
leaves
got
me.
something to show you. Can you see
Oh, a
that?
butterfly.
Wait.
That's an electronic butterfly in a
Oh, is that what
jar.
it is?
Yeah.
How do you charge it up?
Hang on just a second.
Must have little tweezers to put that battery in.
Nope, take the screw out. Put the lid back on. When the lid's on, it's when it works.
Uh-huh.
How cool.
Poor damn butterfly in there getting a shock all the time.
You guys see
Oh,
them birthday boxes they got now when they open them up, all them butterflies fly out of it and stuff.
oh, cool. This one I gotta show Bonnie too, but I have to wind it up first.
Anna's House of Treasures.
Right?
Now, if you watch this, the flowers move.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, wow. And the butterfly did? Was that it?
Yeah, there was a butterfly on a little yellow one. Actually, the butterfly in there is real.
Oh, wow.
I'd never seen one before. My friend got me that a long time ago. And it's always on my coffee table in front of me. And if I feel a little bit blue, I turn on that little thing, and it has you can put batteries in it, and it lights up.
Want to call right now?
Hold on.
Can I ask?
I like unusual things.
Nah,
Yeah.
not you, Anna.
Yes, I do. Oh man, if it was nice outside, I'd show you guys what I made my friend. I took a
I'd be insane.
well, our neighbor sawed down a bunch of cedars out here, and I took some of the longer, straighter limbs and some that were kind of bent, kind of funny. I let them dry out, and I pulled all the bark off from them, and I cut one off one day, stuck it in the ground. My roommate's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "You just wait and see." I took one of those baskets that you hang your plants in that looks like a basket with the stuff that kind of looks like hay or whatever around it.
Yeah.
And I stuck it over the outside of the basket, screwed it down and onto the top of the log that I had sticking out of the ground so that it looked like a mushroom. Then I went and I picked a whole bunch of moss and I wrapped wire around it, all around it, and stuck some bobby pins in there and stuff so that it would stay in place. And every year she waters it, and then the next year I bought her this great big toad to put on top of it.
I put y'all a video out there to watch. It's funny. My wife sent it to me earlier, and I was like, "Wow, women liked it." She said it being sexual to them, and I was like, it looked weird to me, but it was messed up. All these girls watching this guy cook stuff.
Then you know those baskets that you steam vegetables with? I pulled one of those apart and then used some of those little strainers for like straining your tea and whatever. And I made it into a dragonfly and stuck it on the tree. I painted it up with really iridescent, different colored fingernail polishes so that it would really shine. Turned out really pretty.
Well, that's cool.
Do you have to go potty, Wormy?
You see through different eyes. And it's all medicine that you're making.
Is
you know
it?
what you're doing, don't you? You're changing the energy in the area that you're placing those things. They become focal points for that type of energy. If you've ever gone into any of these topiary gardens or gardens where they've done that, they set up this certain type of ambiance with the things that they have in there. It actually collects and stores that type of energy. When you walk in there, you just feel so nice about it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I always wanted to build myself a greenhouse on the house that my ex and I had built, and have one that you could walk in. And I wanted to have like the buffalo horn fern and unusual things
Mhm.
like that. Did I lose you guys?
No,
No.
we're here listening.
Okay,
You're the
yeah, I'm
storyteller
standing.
tonight.
Listening,
Well, I'll show you this
listening
guy.
picture.
You see that?
Okay, wait. No. Let me put you full screen.
That's a bumblebee.
Yeah.
It's made out of metal. Oh, there's strange
you're a-
stuff.
You're a regular Becky Homecki, boy.
Yep.
I haven't learned how to weld yet. That's one of the things I want to learn, how to cut and weld metal. That's one of the things I haven't done yet.
Get you a little wire welder and just practice with pieces of scrap, and then it'll come to you.
Yep.
Yeah, I for a while I worked in a machine shop and I made parts for airplanes. So I need to get myself a drill press and all that stuff.
I used to be a good enough welder. I could weld frames on vehicles and semi trucks and trailers and all that, but that was 100 years ago. It seems like my hands shake enough now that I probably look like a dirt dauber.
Well, I just think about the different kinds of stuff I could create and invent, because I've done everything from building a house, woodwork, and gardening, and then going from that to working in a machine shop and all the different kinds of building furniture. Can you imagine what I could make?
Yeah.
There'd be no limits to it, you know?
If it makes you happy and makes you accomplished, then go for it. I want to get an old vehicle. I'd love to either get me an old Bel Air or an old 67 Chevy truck or something I can fiddle with.
Really weird. It's warm outside and there's a breeze, and I'm standing out here in a nightie. It's warm.
I would say you're having a hot flash, but I think you're just flashing.
I wouldn't do that to anybody. That's our secret weapon, Pappy. Don't tell anybody. I'm gonna go give that potato man a heart attack. You're just gonna have him wake up and see me naked. That'll do him in. Because he likes kids.
Our temperature has been going up tonight, and I thought that was kind of odd.
Or what?
Our temperature here has been going up tonight. I've been watching it, and I'm like, it went from 50 to 56, and it's going to be 60 degrees by the time I go to bed. Have the air on.
Well, you know what it is. The cold front come up here in the north and northeast and sucked all the warm air from Hawaii to you guys.
That's okay.
I'll be honest. I've been a little bit full of hot air tonight. You know, you heard that brain fart earlier.
It's one of them stuck hiccups that escaped, right?
I'll tell you, I think my dogs have the cleanest heinies in the world, because we keep baby wipes for our doggies' heinies. So when they sit on the furniture, they aren't getting anything on there.
No dirty deals, huh?
No dirty, well, no skid marks.
Have you done wood burning, Anna?
Yes. And I used
North
to
Carolina.
incorporate some color to mine too.
Yeah.
I used to dabble with a lot of different colored stains, come up with my own, use Indian inks of different colors from all around the world, actually. And then very beautiful colors you can get. And then
Yeah.
I did a lot of calligraphy, but I shake a lot now, so I don't do calligraphy as much. But I used to do a little bit of everything, I guess, whatever I felt like.
Same here. I couldn't stand not making something.
It's kind of hard now without having like a craft room where, you know, a little bit of stuff's here, a little bit of stuff's there, and getting my stuff together again. Well, I spent almost a year living up by my brother up in Superior, and some of my stuff is still up there. I got a few things back, and I had to throw almost everything away because he stored it in his basement. And it got musty and mildewy, and
Oh
I
no.
was like, nope, it's out of here. It ain't coming in the house. And I still have things up there. I have a White's sewing machine up there, one of those old pedal ones and stuff, and I want that back, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I like to work with leather and furs and all kinds of different things. My mom had found, I forget what you call it, but when a stone washes around in the lake and it washes around, it ends up completely round, perfectly round.
Mhm.
My mom found one of those in Lake Superior.
Oh,
So
wow.
I took it, instead of it sitting on the floor in my brother's house all the time, I asked if I could do something with it. And he's like, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, I'm going to make something out of it. And I'm going to try to make it as Native American as I can. But this is going to be from me. And he goes, go ahead. So I took some leather and I cut a circle. I kept cutting it and cutting it and cutting it in a circle pattern until I had a great big long string, and I got it wet and soaked it. And I tied that onto the end of a broom handle. And then I wrapped that leather so that it went around that ball and then around the stick. And then I added some fur pieces and some feathers, and I did some beadwork on it and made a club out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up
gives me
being
an
quite a
idea.
big piece.
You and Pappy. I
Well,
have this long piece of driftwood because I love driftwood. I love anything from the beach. So I'm always bringing home a carload of whatever I can find laying around. And I need to make a walking stick
Uh-huh.
Cool.
out of driftwood.
Yep. Yep. You know, and you honor those things and you give them life, you know.
Yes.
You know, their energy reaches out and talks to you, and you use them in another way. Sometimes the things that we repurpose from something else are actually worth much more individually than they were before in their original form. You know, they take on a new life.
Yep. That's my closet it's huge. And that's where all my craft stuff is. And the girls are like, when we move, we're getting rid of all this. And I said, no, we're not. I don't care if I have to add another room. It's staying.
Yeah, save everything because you never know what it's going to end up on or what it's going to turn into.
Yes. And they already got rid of all my fabric. I was pretty upset about that because I could have been sitting here making quilts this whole time.
Well, you know, the thing about fabric, you know, some of those old fabrics and stuff, they don't make anymore. You know, with
I
all these
know.
mills and everything that went overseas, and everything is printed now, you know. And
Yep.
Well, look at how heavy they used to make denim, and it was durable. It lasted a long time.
Yeah.
Now, when you put
Yes.
anything that has any weight into a dryer, it doesn't get dry. You have to turn the darn dryer back on. And I talked to a guy that sells washers and dryers. I said, I want a dryer that's going to get stuff dry. I'm sick and tired of this having to put things in 2 and 3 times when I'm putting heavy stuff in it, you know? And he says, you
Mhm.
know, what it is they've started to make things so cheap. And I'm not just talking about the dryer. He says, clothes are lighter weight. People don't wear fabric like they did when you had like your old good denim, heavy denim. So now they
Heavy.
have it kind of regulated so it doesn't overheat and melt.
yeah,
Synthetic.
nothing's made to be repaired anymore. Everything's made to
No.
wear out and be replaced.
Yep.
Yes.
You guys seen a new pair of Levi's versus one from 20, 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
remember when a pair of Levi's would stand up in the corner by themselves.
Yes.
That's why I buy my jeans from Duluth Trading Company. You know, they make those fire hose jeans that are out of that 12. Well, you can get them up to 14 ounce denim canvas. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
they stand up to stuff. I mean, they're pricey, you know, but you ain't got to replace them every year either.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I
the
drove
new
by that place a lot in Duluth.
I've had a few pair of the newer Levi's, and they always tear out in the back pocket by the middle.
Yeah.
I have to
stopped
say
by
they
Levi's
had
ever
some of
since
the
they went woke.
pardon, Pappy?
But I stopped buying Levi's ever since they went woke with their, you know, these people out there that are, you know, they're manufacturers and they're suppliers of this and stuff, and then they bring politics and political correctness into it. You know, they're no
Yep.
longer businessmen as far as I'm concerned. You know, they're not selling a product to anybody that's going to come up with the money to buy it. You know, they got to stick their ethics in it.
Yeah, when like Coke dragging that critical race theory out there, and it's like, yeah, my wife loved Coke. You couldn't force her to drink a Coke.
Yeah.
She drinks RC now because they're still by themselves.
Yep. Same here.
Well, I found out that the coloring that Coke uses in their Coca-Cola is aluminum based. Did you know that?
I
Oh,
heard
no.
there's more bad things in it than good.
Yeah. Well, everything might have started out natural, but well, folks, it's after 1 o'clock here, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night.
Yeah, I got to jump off and
you,
get that
Pappy.
turkey in the oven.
Yeah.
I sure enjoyed it, Bonnie. Thank you.
I did
Yes,
too.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for a nice time around the campfire. It was real relaxing tonight.
It
You guys
was.
have a great night. Bless everybody, and bye, y'all.
Glad
You
you
too,
came
Ted.
up, Chet. You take care.
Hugs to everybody.
Good night, y'all in chat. Camo, I'm keeping you in prayer. You
Oh, you can tell I
We
was
got
patient.
family here. Night, Pappy.
Night. Good night, sweetie.
Right.
Night, Anna. Thank you. Night, Robert. North Carolina girl. Y'all stay safe. See you tomorrow.